Okay, so welcome to this week's episode of Franchise Wars. This time it's going to be a Teen Titans review, reaction, and recap. I'm going to try and do all three R's in this one single video, though we'll see how the reaction thing works out since this is my first time doing it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start episode 1 of Titans. Okay, first to start off the episode, we have Raven, aka Rachel Roth, going through a dream sequence where she sees herself at Haley's Circus when the Flying Graysons are performing. And as any Batman fan knows, things happen. And something bad happens in... Yep. That's not good. I called it. Raven witnesses the deaths of the Graysons, and then she wakes up screaming. And as her mother comforts her, we figure out that there's definitely some creepy things going on here with Raven, especially when we see what her home is decorated with, and how that stuff reacts to her evil nature. Oh, wow, that's a lot of crosses. Yeah, Mom definitely knows that Trigon's coming for her little girl. And the crosses fall. That's not good. We then have a brief intro with a pretty good rockin' theme. Dick Grayson is a cop in Detroit looking after some people he wants to take down, and we immediately start getting some Batman references.
He's been pushing off getting a partner since he got here a month ago. Some shit about his last one or something.
He's from Gotham and likes to work alone. Gotham? Jesus.
In the morning, Raven wakes up and eats her breakfast, and we get to see that her home life with her mother is very peculiar. Her mother has numerous scratches on her side and has this weird kind of alcohol plus pill combination for breakfast. Also, there's some homey stuff here as well, before some things are revealed and Raven's dark side makes its first real appearance. Okay, are those... Happiness is homemade. Oh, she's got a cute little mug. Something horrible's gonna happen.
No more praying. No more lying. Tell me what you're not, Mom.
Raven experiences a rough day at school, though I think we're starting to see the basis for what will probably be a theme for the character, which is while some people will reject and attack her, others will actually stand up to defend her, even if they're not necessarily her friends. Unfortunately, when she gets home, there's a guy with a gun at her mother's head looking to capture Raven, and pretty soon things escalate out of control.
You had good inside your heart, sweetheart. Don't do that.
There. Now that's better.
Go full carry! Yes! And they've given her superpowers. Thank God. I don't want an empath-only Raven. Oh. Yeah, they got no problem with the headshot scene. While Raven flees, we cut back to Detroit, where Dick Grayson, as Robin, decides to deliver a bit of a beatdown on some idiots for, well, being evil. And we get some of the questions about this violent action scene.
Where's Batman?
Oh, that's insulting.
Hey. Ernie's alone.
Oh! Scream stick? Ah, bow staff. Oh!
Never touch your kid again, I'll fight.
Okay. I think that's one of those Arkham City type beatdowns where someone should be dead, but they're gonna say that they aren't. Raven decides to hop a bus to go to Detroit, and we get to hear some awesome music selection. S.O.B. by Nathaniel Ratcliffe.
I'm on the ride and shake my body. I start moving down my head. I'm gonna cover myself with the ashes of you. I know, boy, it's gonna give a damn.
Perfect music choice. We now leave America and go to Austria, where we introduce to our version of Starfire, who's in a bit of a Jason Bourne style story right now. Is Starfire? Yeah, Starfire's gone full Jason Bourne. She has amnesia and she's in a car with a dead guy. That's a bit rough. She takes stock of her situation, grabs her purse, and after escaping an initial attack by some gunmen, manages to find out what name she apparently goes by. Okay, this is kind of dark for Starfire, but it would make sense if they're going back to the idea where she's like the formerly enslaved princess of an old planet and has to have survival skills. We'll see how this goes. Looking for answers, she finds she has a hotel key and goes to the hotel, only to find that there's somebody stuffed in her closet who she's apparently been interrogating. Does Corey already have a boyfriend? Possibly. Well, she has a guy in her closet. Yeah, that guy chose the wrong fight. You don't want to fight a Jason Bourne alien princess. Doesn't go well. I really like her acting. She's doing a lot of emoting with the eyes. That's very good. And she's gonna kill him. Yep, we have a killer Corey. Technically, that's not actually comic book inaccurate. It's just the more violent interpretation of her character. We're a long way away from the Teen Titans TV show version of Starfire. Raven gets to Detroit, goes to a soup kitchen, apparently gets helped by this kind old lady, only to find out that she's actually about to be kidnapped, and so she runs away and throws a brick at a police car to get herself safe. This brings her into contact with Dick Grayson. You a dead Bob? Oh my god, we have so much in common. Yes, I know I'm using the Batman voice, just get over it. Cut back to Austria, where Corey Starfire figures out that she was actually manipulating some kind of local nightclub owner, and when he opens fire on her, she toasts him.
Who am I? Who the hell are you?
Well, that's not helpful.
I don't know.
I loved you.
I don't think I loved you, too. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a no. Wait!
Nice effects. And... oh! He didn't even have time to fall. She roasted him into a statue. This is very smart in terms of exposition. They're doing a great job here of tying those things together. Oh boy. Back in America, Raven unfortunately gets tricked by a corrupt cop into actually becoming the prisoner of the same man who killed her mother. And unfortunately, this guy has some Exorcist-style feelings for what he should do to the spawn of Trigon.
I will lay heart beside the heart of a beast.
Yep, their hearts.
And beside the heart of a simpleton. And burn them all. And the doorway will be closed forever.
Dick Grayson arrives, not as Robin, but as a cop, and while trying to rescue Raven, she ends up saving herself by brutally killing the bad guy, not with her own intentions, but with her dark side, literally leaving her body and basically making his entire internal organs just spit out of his mouth. And her dark side appears now. Yeah, she killed him. Or at least her dark side did. Knowing that things have gotten out of hand, Dick Grayson takes Raven, gets in a car, and starts driving for help. Meanwhile, someplace else, a green tiger steals some video games, and we have Beast Boy. Ha ha ha. He ate the video games so he could throw them up later. Oh, no, I guess he's just transforming. Oh, he did eat him. Okay, so overall, here's the best thing I can see about this episode right now. The first and biggest is that the acting is good so far. For instance, the actress playing Starfire is doing a very good job with emoting, especially from her eyes, and doing a good job playing a character who is not supposed to know who she is. There's a lot of facial acting and a lot of physical acting, especially because the character isn't really well defined right now. The girl playing Raven's doing a pretty good job. Not perfect, but still pretty good. And yeah, so far the two Titans have done a pretty good job as well. We only saw about a few seconds of Beast Boy, but I trust Ryan Potter, and he's definitely got the attitude down there. It's that 3 or 4 seconds we've seen. And the guy playing Dick Grayson is pretty good. The question is, are we going to see him develop into the Dick Grayson we know, or is he going to slide into some other category? Now, I'm going to rewatch the scene with the fight scene here in a second, just so I can go ahead and figure out whether or not there actually is a kill in it. Everybody else seemed to be alive, but there was one guy who I think may have had his neck snapped. So we're going to check to make sure that he's either alive or dead, or if there's some weird area where it's like Arkham Asylum, where it's like, oh yeah, I threw that guy into a wall, and his entire body contorted, but he's still technically alive. Okay, it totally looks like he snapped the guy's neck there. I guess we'll either find out or someone will tell us at some point in time. That is an issue I'm wary of. I've heard that Batman kills in this universe, at least at this point in time, and honestly, the issue here is that if you're going to have Batman kill anyone, then Batman had better have a reason for that in story, and I mean in terms of like a dynamic arc, especially if we're having the deal here be that Robin becomes Nightwing. I mean, Jeff Johns is a producer on this show. If Jeff Johns has a plan for his dark and angsty stuff, usually it's okay. I mean, Superboy finds out that he's half Lex Luthor. We have a nice little insiders arc of Teen Titans and Outsiders. Or, you know, oh, it turns out that Cassie's brother in Teen Titans is actually Ares, God of War, so we get a kind of little story there. But if this is just going dark for the sake of being dark and cool, then we have an issue. Now, I'm still going to watch the entire season, but this is an issue that I hope they did not just do for the sake of some cheap thrills.